So, our wretched little savior returns. Come to join the last pathetic battle of the vampire race? But on which side, I wonder?
Hey, there's Vorador.
You, Vorador.
You don't know why you're here.
I know this much, that you are the author of my fate, and as such, only you can rewrite it.
And he's wearing his pimp outfit too.
You forged the Reaver. I have seen the evidence.
I was its maker, yes?
Hello everyone. Welcome back to Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered. We're picking up where we left off, and right now we are in Vorador's mansion, his little private kingdom. Look at that. Look at his gigantic ass mansion that we now have to explore. How are you all doing today? This is the first time I've played this game in quite a while. I was busy with Requiem and then also Tomodachi Life, so we're slowly getting back to this. There aren't that many chapters of it left. I think once we finish up with Defiance, I'm gonna play Metal Gear Solid 2, the HD remaster. Yeah, those statues are gonna come to life. Here we go. There's that classic Soul Reaver theme. That's how you know it's a fight. Ooh. God damn. I don't think Raziel dodges as effectively as Kain does. Yeah, it's a bit janky, his dodge. Especially when they're together like that. You kinda gotta just chip away at them with the TK. There we go. I think there's a trophy related to that, but I'm not really sure what the time frame is for getting them. Oh, there we go. Almost. There we go. Got him. I think it was probably 2 minutes or so. So we might have taken a bit too long. Let's get that nice health. Yeah, I think we took too long. Oh well. Guess we get him next time. We gotta play this game at least once. I won't record it, but I'll play it again to get the trophy. You like how he can't just rip off the bars from the door, he actually has to go spectral. Even though he should have the necessary strength to actually just rip that open. Unless Vorador designed it to be much sturdier. Oh, there's some definite Revenant souls floating around there. Look at that, you can tell by the wings behind them, so there's definitely some of them buried in this place, that's for sure. So the key to this one is that there's 3 puzzles. Oh, there we go. There's 3 puzzles for 3 different statues later on that you have to get. Oh, this is... I thought it was the other guys. There you go. Sit your ass down permanently. You're gonna see this figure again later on. The water temple symbol, and also probably, I guess, the nature guardian, maybe. This mansion actually looked pretty nice even in the old PS2 graphics. But it looks a lot more exquisite now. Forget these fools. I don't know how they're invading this place, but I guess Vorador's defenses are just down at this point. Yeah, I guess with no vampires here left to defend the place, they pretty much just have free reign. So we cannot activate that just yet. Oh, we gotta use the Flame Reaver. There we go. And we got a gigantic fountain and a pool. Let's see what this is about. Look at those gargoyles.
This pool seemed related to the portals which had transported me into the vampire ruins, but its surface was disturbed by the spouting of these gargoyles.
Yep, that's a clue. And we got tentacles. Damn, Vorador's places is going all to shit now that he's distracted. I guess normally their presence would be enough to keep all this shit away, but yeah, there's no vampires left. That's the whole point about why you need them. I think the vampire's actual presence holds back some of this stuff. Without it, it just stuff from all sorts of dimensions just starts to pop up here. Let's take a picture with that. With the legendary vampire hero. Look at that. There we go. Weather effects. Weapon trails. Oh, look at how we can get the skinny reaver. It doesn't look right though. There we go. Perfect. Look at that. That's art. That is bona fide art. Okay, let's where should we go first? Let's go over here. Activate the little air spout. So these figures are all legendary vampire heroes fighting their adversaries.
These gargoyles were effigies of the vampire's enemies. In the corresponding murals, they were impaled by heroic vampire warriors. Perhaps this was a clue.
Perhaps. They look pretty nice. That one's wearing a skull mask. Look at that. So that's obviously some type of that death guardian or something. Or a very proficient killer of their enemies. Look at this one. So we have to find the 3 weapons. And those are the 3 ones that we have, that Razio can use. Let's see, Demastered Wraith Blade. Yeah, so we have the Soul Stealer. Let's use the Soul Stealer for a while. Look at that. I believe, which one is that one? I think it's this one, right? The blue one? The only thing about that one is hard to keep track of which Reaper is which unless you look at the little energy swirling closely around his arm. Since obviously now you can't see it as prominently. Just glide all the way down here. Look at that. Yeah, get that spear. You bums. Oh, ignore those. Let's just leave those over there. We don't need to kill them.
This mural was similar to one I had seen before in the fountain room.
Now there is a trophy for defeating transformed underwater, but we can't do it just yet, unfortunately, because we don't have the Earth Reaver, which lets you walk underneath the water, so that has to wait. Oh damn, they just drowned. I did not mean to kill that lady. It's okay though, once Mobius' soldiers arrive, they're gonna kill her anyway, so... it all goes to the same place, right? It all returns to the wheel. Actually, Mobius' soldiers won't even get a chance to free her because the remnants are gonna possess her, so she just become transformed. That would be interesting if you could actually free some of the prisoners and have them show gratitude. Maybe in a Blood Omen remake eventually. You notice those disappear, which means they don't really have their own souls. They're just almost like machines. They're just mindless creatures. Like Raziel said, they exist only to fuel the other god with souls, so they don't have any of their own. It's like the Shades, but just more advanced. Vorador's got a lot of death iconography in the crypt. Makes sense, obviously, but oh, that one looks way different. Look at that. Before it looked bearded, now it's just looks like a jester of sorts.
This door clearly required some artifact before it would open.
You don't say, Raziel. The big indentation in the middle of the room didn't give it away. You notice their wings are becoming a bit more complex, so they're learning how to manipulate the courses as they go on. Received Imperial Rending. While fighting in midair, I'm able to slam the Reaver into my opponent, causing him to hit the ground below and then bounce back within my reach. They're also getting more elaborate clothing too. So they're slowly but surely beginning to replicate their old forms. Which makes you wonder, how long could they stay in there? Like, if given enough time, would they be able to completely transform the corpses into their own physical bodies? And that way they'd actually escape the demon realm. That way they just make those corpses into their new home. Because they seem to be doing a pretty swell job of restoring them. So I wonder how long they could actually stay in there indefinitely. Where the hell are we going? It's still a dead body, but it makes you wonder, like I said, how long could they actually stay in there? Indefinitely, or is there a time limit before it expires? Like, it's not ideal, but at least you're out of the demon realm at that point. May not be an ideal body, but at least it's something. This little area here reminds me that I have to go back and finish Bloodborne eventually, one of these days. Those were actually doing pretty good, but I just got distracted by other games and then I just focused on other things. We'll leave the energy there just in case we need it later. That game was tough. That's also the other reason why I didn't finish it. It was just way too tough in certain points, especially those dungeons. Oh wow, look at that. He knocked over that whole thing just by giving it that swipe. So now we have to traverse outside. And luckily, for some reason, there's a body buried on top of the roof here. I don't know why. Yeah, some of these body locations for the floors are very shifty or shady. Like, why the hell is there a body buried up there? It makes no sense. But there is, for some reason. Okay, now we switch back again. You think we can reach all the way over there, or can we? God damn it. Shit, now we have to climb back. Oh, look at the dragon motifs up there. Actually, you think he's using a body in some of them, or you think some are just leftover remains, like not necessarily a complete corpse, just like energy left over that he can manipulate? Because why would there be a body buried there? And obviously we're using it as a gameplay mechanic, but that still makes no sense. So I wonder just how this new power he has actually works. Alright, we made it. Look at that, looking all like a fun house. It'll be interesting to wonder if there really were ancient dragons here in this area, or if it's all just mythological. Like, were there actually dragons in Noskov, or has it always been just a mythological concept? Yeah, there's almost no point in fighting the Slua because they just respawn. It's not like the other ones where you can clear them. They just respawn. When I'm not supposed to. Look at that. We shifted how many times? Imagine exploring this area as Kain in Blood Omen 1. That would be pretty decent. Imagine how much better it could look even in modern HD graphics. Like, I'm not super big on remakes. I'm more forgiving towards them than other people, but I do think Blood Omen will make an ideal one, just because that game, you can see they had very good ideas. They were just severely limited by the technology at the time. They were like Howard Stark. He couldn't do all he wanted to do because of the limitations on technology. And like I said, they pretty much have most of the assets in place already. They have this for the mansion.
This statue appeared to be the same hero I had seen depicted in the fountain room. This had to be significant.
They have Vorador's mansion, all of this. They have Avernus later on. They got a lot of places that you could actually reuse, so I think it would work. It'll be better than them fucking up the series with a new entry, unless that's done right. Like I said before, they pretty much have all the pieces necessary to actually make a good Dark Prophecy game, but if they can't get certain people back like Amy just to make sure it runs smoothly, maybe they would be better off just remaking Blood Omen 1 into a modern game. You know, have it fulfill some of its potential. There we go, 2. We have to light 6 of them to cause a statue to give us his spear. There's one outside, you can see it right there. There you go. Just broke the window. Go back inside. That's 3. I do wonder who that lady is. They said there was probably a past lover of Vorador who, a sorceress who got killed by humans, and that's why. That's also partly why he has such a grudge against them, because her portrait appears both here and in Blood Omen. Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's wait until we're up here. Alright, that's 4. God damn it. That's the bad part about doing that you can't really see. There we go. Got it. Now we just need 5 and 6. Obviously 5's down here, and then we have one more up top. I've seen people really struggle with this, but it's really just about the timing. You pretty much have to activate it when you're... Activate the cloak when you're gonna rise up top. So that it gives you enough time to blind the sentry. There we go, now it's gonna raise up top. And we made it. There you go. Easy. Got all 6. It's just about the timing. You just have to time it completely right so that you activate the power up when the platform is lowering. That way you don't waste any time and you don't get caught by the sentries. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. pretty simple. There you go, we got the spear. I guess this is one of these dining rooms where Vorador met Kain.
This was indeed the vampire warrior depicted in the fountain room, for here was the hero's weapon. This could be the key to solving the riddle of the fountain.
Yeah, it could be. Oh, and they actually added some background to it. Heartseeker, this ancient vampiric hero was wielded ancient vampiric weapon was wielded long ago by the hero Latimer for the slaughter of the Hilden horde. Reputedly, this spear was designed to rip the still beating heart of a Hilden straight from his chest, causing instant death. Latimer. Yeah, before they didn't have names at all, so it actually gave them names. And here's a little interesting thing. You see these paintings right here? These are actually, this one is actually concept art of what the Vampire Fortress originally could have looked like. So there it is, it's concept art for the building we've been exploring. Here's another one of the Vampire Hero. Here's a Fire Reaver. It's also interesting that they have blood, because like I said, these are desiccated corpses that have been there for a long time, so yeah, like I said, they're gradually actually transforming them into actual living bodies, so that makes me wonder how long they could actually live in here if they chose to stay here instead of fighting Raziel. There you go. Burn. Little guys, burn. Look at him scrambling around to put it out. I admit I never really liked the animation for taking their souls like that the way I did as the original one. Like I just think so that it looks a bit goofy that it reaches in and pulls them out of their chest. I prefer the old-fashioned animation with the soul stealing, the one from Soul Reaver 1. He just opens up the cloak and takes it. Actually, could we have... Let's see, could we have gone this way, or could we have gone the other way and reached the fountain that way? Let's see. Oh no, we need the Earth Reaver for that. Okay, so we do have to go this way. I forgot we need the Earth Reaver for that one. You like the little scampering sound of his feet? Now we just fly down over here. I also don't like him stepping as much through the fences and gates. I prefer that when he kind of floated. He did like little T-pose and then floated there. I actually prefer that animation. I think these guys are about to activate too. We also got these paintings over here which we can break. Also, you like how Razio cautiously opens up the doors where Kain just kicks him in. Kain's much more of a brute. Okay, so we got one spear. We did the air door, right? So now we gotta do the fire door. There we go. I've heard some people say it looks like they're pissing blood all of a sudden. I don't think that was quite the intent, but that's what it looks like to some people, unfortunately.
When I drove the spear home, the gargoyle was stilled, and the corresponding mural shattered. Perhaps the other murals I'd seen throughout the mansion had been similarly affected.
Alright, here's the one that shattered. But there's only health in here, so we actually have to go over there. Actually, let's go see if that wall shattered. Before we go into this one, let's go over there. The one we passed by. Man, Tomodachi life is getting crazy. I still haven't added Raziel though. We gotta get the vampire wings for that.
These murals were attuned somehow to those in the fountain room, for this wall too had shattered.
There we go. I'm glad we came back for it. We would have had to come back eventually anyway, but still. Let's kill these guys and get some souls. Get them away from the water. Because otherwise you can't feed on them. Yeah, if they just drown, you can't feed on them. Oh, there's a lot of them. Holy shit. Just send them all on fire. Okay, so this is a shortcut. So we'll come back to that later on. Let's go get the other spear. There's two of them left, so let's go get the second one. And I think once we go into the pool, we can get either the Earth Reaper or the Water Reaper, one of those. broke one of the health canisters. It must have been right around the corner over here. Oh, look at that, we just phased right through it. Nice. Luckily, there's still one left there. We're gonna leave that one alone for now. And we're outside. Look at that. It sounds like there's another enemy nearby, but I can't see them. Oh, there it is, right there. So some people don't understand this puzzle right away. That is, basically you have to turn some of them off. I mean, on with fire and then turn some of them off, so you can't do it right now. Because if you light them all, they're all going to be lit, but you have to leave 3 alone, so you can only do it later on.
This mysterious chamber was clearly significant. Perhaps I would finally find the elusive Vorador within.
Now this one's an odd texture. It reminds you of the issue with Soul Reaver 2, whereas some of them look better on the original for some reason. Yeah, I guess this one's supposed to be much more worn out, but it looks a bit more detailed in the original, slightly. The scales. The rest is fine, the scales just look a bit unusual. Is that supposed to be like a maiden or an angel weeping underneath it? Yeah, cause see, here's what happens if you just light all of them.
The braziers were all lit, but still the door remained sealed. Perhaps I had ignited too many.
Yeah, you need because you got to do it all at once, and then you got to turn them off with the with the water reaver. You can't turn them off individually, so yeah, you need another one to be able to do it. A lot of people don't. Well, some people don't really realize it right away if they hadn't played like the previous games of the series. Sometimes you have to come back to stuff later on. Like in Soul Reaver 1, there were certain things that you couldn't open right away unless you had a specific Reaver enhancement or you know, had obtained some additional abilities. You couldn't open certain doorways. Here we go, we gotta shatter that window and now we can sneak in. We do not even have to shift over to the spectral room, we just sneak in via the window. Vorador has an ornately fine mansion here. Look at all this shit. Fine rugs everywhere. Classic car. Look at that. He really does live like a king in here. They definitely expanded it from before. The mansion in Blood Omen 1 was a bit too small to be considered a private kingdom. Oh, and this here is actually concept art for Janos' Aerie in Soul Reaver 2. Remember his Aerie? Where he meets up with Raziel? This is concept art for what it could have looked like originally. And here's more concept art of the Vampire Citadel. So you see they went through various iterations of it before deciding on how to make it look like. I think that's pretty neat, the fact that they had multiple versions that it could have looked like. This one looks kind of cool. Not as ancient, but it does look pretty nice. Look at that right there. Look at that, there's a bed. I guess if you just wanted to randomly bang someone on the bed, you would do it right there. Out in full view of the public. They're vampires, they don't care. Especially Vorador, he doesn't care one bit. This also throws people off for a loop. You gotta shatter the wall too. Back off, fool. Look at that, they're even manifesting clothing now. So yeah, like they're really learning how to manipulate those corpses into what they actually want them to look like. Because Raziel, the most he can form out of it is just like the little gauntlets and the rags on his arms and the cloak, but they can actually form all sorts of stuff. I guess that's what they looked like before during the war against the ancient vampires. Oh, the cutscene stopped me from jumping. Okay, we gotta get to this one over here. Yeah, there's beds everywhere. We know what Vorador was doing here. What his subjects were doing here. We know. It's not just sleeping, it's a public orgy, basically. Like Raziel said, as decadent as it was depraved. That one could actually block the TK for a bit. do think there's a little bit too much fighting in this game. I would prefer if there were more balanced approach of puzzle solving and fighting, rather than mainly just the fighting and some tiny bit of puzzle solving. Alright, so now we have to do the opposite. Now we have to light the ones that are dark, so let's get to it. There's one over there. We still haven't found any other skins, which is kind of a disappointment. Let's pull out this suspicious looking bookshelf with handles on it. Okay, so there's nothing here. And this is one that people also miss. They don't check the painting. Because you can see here it's kind of rippling. It's a bit more difficult to spot here, but yeah, this is a red herring. Like, yeah, there's actually something hidden behind there. I've noticed people really miss that a lot. They don't quite realize you have to break the painting, so they spend like 15 minutes trying to find where it is, and oh, it's actually right over here. Sorry, Vorador, but we gotta break the table. I am the table. That turns off the fire, so we can now clean this one. There you go, purify with the light reaver. Got 3 left. There's one up there, which we can fly to using, actually I think we can pull out the shelf. I think you can do either one. You can either fly to it from the balcony right over there, or you can just use the shelf to step up here. That's way easier. It's the far easier option, but either one works. Yeah, you can just fly right to the curtain. Okay, so you got that one. I don't think there's one outside for this one. This is also where we'll depart for Avernus.
I'm missing something.
Very abrupt. It's weird that he gets lines like that where he's very abrupt. Look at this jungle here. Or is it a garden? There's one hidden here. There's one up top, you can see it up there. And now this one you have to manipulate it using this. And you gotta be quick, or else you'll just fall down and fall onto the spikes and have to start over again. There they are. All 6. Give me that spear. And what do we get? Let's see. And we got the Heart Seeker.
Heart Seeker.
Oh no, that's the first one. Now we got the Blood Drinker. This ancient vampiric weapon was wielded long ago by the hero Helka. Instead of Helga, it's Helka. For the slaughter of the Helden horde. Repeatedly, if Helden was impaled by the spear, the wound would never close or heal, causing it to slowly bleed to death. Those sounds like some wicked looking weapons. Yeah, so the vampires had their own bit of cruelty there with some of the weapons they used. They weren't all pure and noble. Some of them were nasty stuff. Get the hell out of here, fool. Yeah, some of those weapons are nasty business. Like even the Reaver itself is kind of nasty when you think about it. A sword that's alive and drinks blood. So like the ancients weren't all benevolent. They did have some bad sides to them. We're gonna fight those statues eventually, but not now. Run that little booty, Raziel. Look at how toned those muscles are back there. Oh, here we go. More statues. Nice. It's easy to use it against them pretty much. Yeah, it's nice when you use their own weapons against them. It makes the fight much easier. Alright, let's put the Blood Drinker up there. That'll leave only just one to open. And I think it opens up a new pathway too. Is it this one? So dramatic with that slow motion. It's like he's sacrificing them himself. There we go. Got a brand new cracked wall. And we got some health. So where do we go now? I think we gotta go over to the flame one. Because I think now the other wall is cracked. We can go down below into the sewers. It's nice that Vorador actually had sewers at a time when other people in regular human villages were probably living in their own filth. At least he actually had a working sewer system, so he knew what was up. He knew how to run a civilization. Stupid humans didn't, but he knew how to run one. Open this wall, Raziel, so we don't have to go around the gate. Leave behind those remnant fools. Oh, there's more of them. Shit. Get out of here, fools. Just jump down here. They can't follow us down here. Look at that. This man had his own functioning sewer system at a time when humans were living like medieval peasants. And here he is with his own advanced waterway and drain system. Nice. Like he truly did live like a king. It's like a Roman emperor living at the height of luxury while the regular subjects live in their own filth. Except in this case the humans kinda deserved it, so god damn. We were not quick enough. You cannot explore that down there just yet. God damn it. It's not gonna work now. The trick is to kind of just fly while they are rising up. There we go. That way you don't waste any time. There you go. Just be quick about it.
Perhaps this arcane emblem would unlock the sealed door in the crypt.
Perhaps. Half of Vorador's crest. This golden seal, but the larger half of two pieces forming the crest of Vorador. Might the complete seal reveal the path to Vorador himself, or perhaps something of greater value? Alright, so we got one. Let's go down here, see what we find. Oh, there's nothing here. Never mind. Yeah, so we really do have to wait to get the Earth Reaver to come back here. It's cool how the water stays floating like that, like the other god said in Soul Reaver 1, thin as air. Oh, look at that, there's someone buried in the sewer system too. Hope that's not contaminating the drinking water. Not that the vampires would mind that because they're immortal, but everyone else would mind it. I do find it surprising that the Hilden weren't even part of the plans until Blood Omen 2 and Soul Reaver 2 like that. Apparently they weren't even a part of the plan for the original Soul Reaver storyline, so I wonder what would have been the great adversary, if not the Hilden. I guess just the plain old demons from Blood Omen 1, I guess that's what they would have been. This would have been the demons manipulating everyone. Hasha Geek. That guy. I guess that's what they would have been the original plan, but instead they kind of did a hybrid of them. There's way too many of these guys. They kind of remind me of Pius Augustus from Eternal Darkness in that outfit. He had his Roman Centurion outfit that he kept for like 2,000 years, pretty much. The whole time he just wore nothing but that. That's what it reminded me of in those little skirts. Like a Roman Centurion outfit. Okay, so now we climb up. Kind of clipping into the stairs there. I think we have to find the original crypt now. Yes, I think we have to go over to the air door over here. Because I think that's where the seal is, right? I do like that he glides more speedily here, because in Soul Reaver 2 he glided really slowly compared to Soul Reaver 1, so they actually kind of fixed that here. He has a more respectable glide. Here it is.
The artifact I had was not sufficient. There was clearly still a missing piece to this puzzle.
Okay. I always forget where the other one is. There's a lot of those troops. There you go, cool off in the water. What's that down there? Got him. Oh yeah, we have the local map telling us where to go. Let's see, where are we supposed to go next? Because we have the crypt, but we can't do anything with it just yet. We did the sewer, so what else is where else haven't we been? Or what else do we need to open up? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Perfect. Yeah, there we go. Here's the chamber. That's where we needed to get. I thought that was the outside area with the door leading to Vorador, but no, that's the other exit we need to find. This would actually look a bit more ornate in the original. It looked like more like gold colored columns, and now they just are regular marble. So sometimes they do a pretty damn good job, but then other times a bit of the textures are weird. Not as weird as Soul Reaver 2 remastered, thankfully, but it's still a bit odd to see that some of them actually look better before. They look more worn out than they do now. Okay, so let's see. So this would be, I think going backwards, this would be fire. Let's see. I think this would actually be no, I think it is fire. I don't think it's earth. I think it's fire. This is water. That would be air. There we go. We're going up. There it is.
Here was the second piece of the emblem. Now, undoubtedly, the crypt door could be opened.
Half of Vorador's crest. This silver seal is but the smaller half of two pieces, forming the crest of Vorador. Might the complete seal reveal the path to Vorador himself, or perhaps something of greater value? Alright, let's go. Let's go stick it in there. He had a fancy ass set of rooms in this mansion. Look at that, all these puzzles and shrines and stuff. This man lived like a king. Wonder how many vampires he kept there at his prime. A few dozen? A few hundred? How many people were here? In addition to their human slaves. That must have been a sight to see. The whole kingdom operating is in its full capacity. I would love to see that in a game. Guys, just back off. Let me put the damn emblem in the floor. And yeah, there are people buried in the floor. You can see the plaques there. Or are those for the ones on the wall? I don't know, I think they are buried in the floor. I actually think these respawn. The little energy fonts. Let's push this guy into the water. There you go, just hit him twice and push him in. We gotta light this. Oh, and we got a freaking flame golems to deal with. Here we go. This one actually looks a fair amount different than before. The statue of the vampire hero with the death mask. they're not as tough as long as you get the full hits in on him. Hit him with that 3-hit combo. Just takes some time to wind them down. There you go, there's one. Isn't it also funny how by triggering all these defenses, Raziel is basically making Vorador's house defenseless? That these are all the golems and statues that would have confronted Mobius' soldiers and probably slaughtered them by the dozens if Raziel hadn't interfered. So he's kind of the reason that Vorador goes down, actually, because he triggered and defeated all the defenses. Otherwise, Mobius' soldiers would have been fighting these guys for hours. So yeah, Raziel is always partly responsible. It's his damn fault for meddling in things he shouldn't. Yeah, this one actually looks a lot different. Look at that. It's got long... Before she had like a ponytail. Now she actually has long hair. I wonder if that was a conscious decision. And she has a vampire claws too. Before she just had regular foot, like a regular boot or a foot or something.
With this third and final weapon, the mystery of the fountain would finally be solved.
Alright, let's go get it. Soul Stealer. This ancient vampiric weapon was wielded long ago by the hero Rekka for the slaughter of the Helden horde. Repeatedly, if a Helden was impaled by the spear, the wound would never close or heal, causing it to slowly bleed to death. Nice. So it's the same as the other one then. Alright, let's get back to that fountain. I'd love to help you out, lady, but we can't. You notice they gave her scratches on her thighs? She didn't have those before. Yeah, I can just imagine Vorador taking it out on them, the prisoners here. Alright, let's put in the final spear.
With its surface finally stilled, the pool was transformed into a portal, just as I had hoped.
There we go, got an artifact for our TK. Yep. And now before we go in there, we're actually gonna switch to Reaver because I don't want to have that goofy spear in the cutscene, so. Let's go back to the demastered Wraith Blade. Alright, let's jump in there. Crossing through space and time, look at that.
Here the images were unadulterated, and their meaning ominously clear. The vampire hero, the bearer of the Reaver Blade, was confronted by an adversary worthy of his powers. The enemy race, long banished, had a champion of their own, with flaming eyes and a fiery sword. The resemblance I bore to the adversary mocked all my hopes. Had Kain been the vampire hero of prophecy all along? Did he suspect what I was? For if I was this foretold adversary, then Mobius was right, and had always been right. I was destined to fight Kain and destroy him, or be destroyed. What part did free will play in any of this?
Razio's too quick to believe what others suggest to him. That's one of his major flaws. He's just making up conclusions based on what he's seeing here without really trying to put together the full picture. You know, Kane's telling him over and over again, and other streamers have noticed this, he has free will. He doesn't have to fight. It's his choice to do what needs to be done, but what that is depends on his interpretation. He doesn't have to fight the way Mobius and the others want him to. This also always confused me when I was young, because he almost looks nothing like the Hilden hero. But I suppose, like I said, the flaming sword and the fiery eyes, I won't give it away, but it always did confuse me because he really looked nothing like the hero here. He doesn't have the tan skin, he doesn't have the legs, he doesn't have the bat-like wings, so I was always confused as to how he decided he was the Hilden adversary instead of the vampire hero, because he really looks almost nothing like them except for the Reaver and the eyes. Those are the only things. Like I said, he's always jumping to conclusions that aren't necessarily fully thought out or all that logical in the first place. He goes more by feelings, whereas Kain goes more by facts. That's what I've noticed. Oh boy, this is gonna suck because we don't have enough health.
Is your release. This state is merely atonement.
God damn. Try to get some health. Yeah, this is probably one of the worst battles in the game by far, because of how blinding it is. They're all ganging up on you at the same time, and you don't get a break. See, it's just constantly pounding you with attacks over and over again. Now we got some health. God damn, come on, and we lost it. God damn, shit. You basically have to eliminate one of the vampires first, or the guardians, because otherwise you stand no chance. It's just way too difficult to deal with both of them at once. Especially, like I said, if you came in and you had only middle health, like we did. God damn, back off, fools. Yeah, this one's terrible. They did not think this through for this one battle. Jesus Christ. You pretty much have to be moving constantly and Trying to attack the Slua, because otherwise, it's impossible to get health. God damn! Come on! Shh. Come on! Get rid of this tunneling fool right now. God damn. Come on. I do not want to start this over again, so you better eat that Slua. Oh, come on. Drop the fucking shield. Oh, god damn. Yeah, this one's terrible. This one was not well thought out at all by the original Crystal Dynamics team. It's not Aspire's fault, it's just this boss battle sucks. There's too much crap in here. Look at that, we haven't even harmed that Guardian really, because we haven't been able to get in any hits on her. And of course now there's no more Slua, so you can't get more health fighter. Come on! God damn! Razio, just hit already! Shit! Stop messing around. Yeah, when she goes into that mist energy form, whatever, you kind of have to just dodge it. It takes too much damage if it catches you. There we go. And the auto-facing doesn't help the fact that it automatically puts you facing the enemies when you're trying to run. That's a huge hindrance, that auto-facing button, compared to how it was in the previous two Soul Reavers. So we did it, but we're on minimum health. Let's see if maybe draining the Reaver refills our health. At least a little bit.
Once more the Reaver absorbed the spirits of the former vampire guardians, and thus was imbued with the elemental power of water. Perhaps now I could enter that mysterious crypt at the end of the garden.
Yep. Now you can. Nope, it did not do it. In Soul Reaver 2, when you drained the Reaver Forges of the energy, it did refill your health, no matter how low it was. So that's a bit of a downgrade from this one. Hopefully there's a health basin somewhere up there. So what that does, it freezes water. And in case you were wondering, obviously. So we have to turn this one off. Go up here. There's another brazier that we have to turn off. We need 3 of them. There's 2. We need 2 more. Okay, so there's none over here. So they gotta be downstairs. There they are. Alright, the portal's activated. Now we can go back. Hopefully get some health so that we don't have to reset. Looks like there's some tentacles about to emerge, so let's just get the hell out of here. Because they don't have any health, so there's no point in fighting with them. Oh, hell no. Fuck those damn shades. Screw those guys. Yeah, screw those guys. We are not fighting those with minimal health. 2 hits will be all it takes to kill them, so no thanks. God damn. Damn. Was trying to eat him, and then he got him before we could. Ah, come on. Yeah, the autoface is really a problem because you're just you're trying to gain energy and come on. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, come on, man. There we go, they can't reach us here. The things we do to get health, right? There we go. Got one, finally. Got another one. And another one. Let's grab two more. We can fully refill our health. Like, I guess that's why they respawn infinitely, to give you a chance to refill your health, but it's still very tedious. Compared to how it was before, where you know, before you could actually recover your health automatically in the spectral realm. You didn't have to you didn't have to do all this crap. You just recover it automatically. And now it's kind of yeah, now you actually have to fight some of the enemies in the spectral realm to recover health if there's no souls around. Before, you could just go into spectral and it would automatically recover your health. I get why they didn't do it, because it's a convenient gameplay mechanic, and also it's probably tied to the Elder God and how he would allow the spectral realm to recover Raziel's health, but it's still tedious when you find yourself with very little health. Alright, let's go talk to Vorador. That'll be the end of the chapter, and after that we can start over next time with Kain. This is a long chapter for Raziel, pretty much. Very long chapter. Yeah, we're going in an hour 36 minutes, so this is definitely one of the lengthier chapters in the game for him. Let's ignore all these fools, we don't need to mess with them right now. And we're gonna switch over to the water beaver. Let's turn off this one. And this one. And this one. There we go. We're ready. All set.
So, our wretched little savior returns. Come to join the last pathetic battle of the vampire race? But on which side, I wonder?
Hey, there's Vorador.
You, Vorador.
You don't know why you're here.
I know this much, that you are the author of my fate, and as such, only you can rewrite it.
And he's wearing his pimp outfit too.
You forged the Reaver. I have seen the evidence.
I was its maker, yes?
Then you know its purpose.
No. Only the scraps of prophecy my master shared with me.
And do these scraps explain why you would forge a weapon to imprison your savior?
Ah, well then. It seems we have our answer. You've chosen your path.
I have chosen nothing. I've been deceived at every turn. You seem to know what I am. Tell me.
I thought I did once. But now all the prophecies have failed. The pillars are corrupted. I am the last of my kind, and when Mobius's hunters find me, it will have all been for nothing.
You've forgotten about Kain.
Ah, yes, Kain. I fear he shoulders a greater burden than he realizes. I cannot help you, even if I was inclined to. I crafted the Reaver blade, but only at the behest of my sire, Janos Audron. What sorcery he and the others laid upon the sword afterward, I cannot say.
Janos tried to give me the Reaver before he died. He said that it was forged for me. But what did he mean? As my weapon? Or my prison?
Perhaps you should ask him yourself.
Janos is here.
In a manner of speaking.
Yeah, he's wearing his pimp outfit. He's ready for war. If you're gonna go out, might as well go out wearing your best clothes. He's gonna bring them for dinner, alright? Mobius's hunters, he's gonna have them for dinner. And look at that, Janos right there. His arms are hairy.
Of us all, the father of our race. The Seraphim tore the heart from his living body 5 centuries ago.
But there's no sign of decay. How is this possible after all these years?
Somewhere, the heart still beats. And while it does, the body will remain preserved. If his heart could be restored, Janos might yet be raised.
And you haven't tried to recover it in all these years?
Many times, but our enemies hid the heart too well. It was taken as a trophy to Avernus Cathedral centuries ago, where they christened it the Heart of Darkness. Believing that it embodies the essence of our dark gift, they hid the heart away lest it fall into the wrong hands. Our hands. Redeem yourself. You may be our last hope. Perhaps you alone can find the heart if it is meant to be found. If Janos can be resurrected, he will have all the answers you require. This key will open your way to Avernus. But be advised, there are dark sorceries at work in the cathedral. You must be on your guard.
Library seal. Given to me by Vorador, this emblem is the key to the Great Door of Dimensions Library. On the other side lies the path to Avernus' great cathedral. Perhaps I can succeed where Vorador has failed and recover the Heart of Darkness. What's up, Janos? How have you been? Chilling? You like how Vorador could have he could have teleported him all the way to the library, but instead he hasn't go by himself. Actually physically go there to give him a little bit more trouble. He won't make it easy for him. I'm guessing those 2 drones are for one for Vorador and one for Janos. Or maybe his mate. Not really sure. Wonder if there's stuff behind the paintings. Oh no, we can't hit them. Yep, we're heading in the right direction. We didn't find any skins in this chapter, which I find a bit disappointing. I wanted to see what else we would get, but there's no new ones so far. Maybe later during Avernus. I'm sure we missed a few, maybe downstairs, but we can get them later. Let's ignore these guys.
Avernus is in flames, and with it, our hopes may evaporate.
How can I find the heart in the midst of such chaos?
You must act quickly, but beware an ancient evil dwells within, long unspoken among our kind. Undoubtedly, this is the source of the corruption that infects the Circle. If you are to succeed, you must resist its influence.
You can't imagine how excited I was when I first played this game and heard that term, the unspoken, because that means I knew who we were gonna fight at Avernus. Very hyped for that. You guys like Vorador's ears longer or shorter? He had shorter ones in Blood Omen, but ever since then they've been pretty long. I think the long ones fit him. It makes him look more bat-like than before. And the graphics are obviously much more advanced than those CG cutscenes ever were with their renderings. Alright, let's go. Let's check the artifact.
Library seal.
There you go, we are on our way. Depart for Avernus? Yes. And that is Raziel's chapter. Complete. I'm disappointed we didn't find any skins. But oh well. Sure we'll come across some more later. Now we're back to Kain. Yeah, this is where we're gonna save. Alright, there you go. So we completed Raziel's chapter. We learned a bit more about his situation. How he believes himself to be the Hilden champion and not the Vampire one. We ran into Vorador. Determined Janos' corpse is still there, so now we have to find the heart to revive him. So that's what we're going to do when we come back next time. And switch over to Raziel's chapter at Avernus. We got to go look for the heart. But first, we're going to explore the Vampire Citadel a bit more with Kain here and see what we can find. So I'd say we got a good maybe 3 hours left of the game. So we still got a ways to go, but we're nearing the end of it by next video. There's not too much more left of it. Probably, like I said, more like 3 hours or so. So let's see what we can find next time in terms of skins for Kain and the Reaver. But yeah, that's it for now. As always, this game is very fun to play, so I look forward to continue playing it. And after we finish it, we're going to play Metal Gear Solid 2. So, like I said, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. I will see you again next time on Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered on the PS4. See you later, everyone.